It has been a glorious time to be alive, doing research on the laws of sciences and innovations. I do not do things for money or in the hope of winning prizes or medals. I've got enough. I do things for value. I wanted to understand the universe. Who are we? And why the universe exists at all. I speak as the one of you to share my excitement and enthusiasm about this quest. Scientists and leaders have become the bearers of the torch of discovery in the quest for knowledge. The quest was a unified theory since Einstein that explains and connects everything in the universe together 1 inch long. And I hope that I will be remembered for my work as an ambassador of innovation, not for things like appearing on the media. Our picture of the universe has changed a great deal over the past periods of time, and I am happy if I have made a small contribution ever since. So remember to be brave, bold, and determined, overcoming the odds, daring to ask the big questions and making the big decisions. And this will take you to the world of innovators, which has its own fascination, realization, and imagination. We have arrived here on planet Earth by deliberate intention of higher authority, who lined up the laws of physics, enabling the universe and the species to exist. We humans are curious species. We wonder and we seek answer. And we are multi-dimensional beings who happen to be in different places at once, because particles appear and disappear almost at once. There seems to be many different versions of us, and each copy of you and I represent a parallel universe. And the history of this particular universe has led to where you are right now, thanks to science. Our brains are bound by laws of nature. These laws imply that there are multiple universes which allow for each and every possible outcome. And what is interesting, this conclusion is now being shared by scientists all over the world. We do realize that each one of us is free to believe what we want, and it's my view, the ultimate explanation, there must be a creator who designed the laws of physics. One has come to realize that everything in the universe that could happen does happen just in another universe. And that is why I used to say God does not play the dice with the universe. It sounds like the grand design, the mind of God, the big picture. And the idea, in fact, seems to be a bit hard to grasp. However, that was an astounding chain of events. The Earth lies just ahead at the right distance from the Sun to allow liquid water to exist on its surface. And the Sun happens to be the right size to bear for billions of years, long enough for life to have evolved. The early universe was just gas, seemingly perfectly likely spread out throughout space. Gravity then began to pull gas back to produce the very first structures from which everything else grows. The lizards, the crocodiles, and ultimately beings like us. If so, then we should live together with tolerance, respect, and love. And we have to have open, curious, and determined minds with noble intentions as global citizens. We must become global citizens. All things come together through the power of gravity, and the greater the mass, the stronger the pull of celestial invisible engineering on a spectacular level. Gravity was created in the Big Bang and has been at work ever since. This is what keeps you and I stuck to the earth. Since the Big Bang, the universe has been governed by laws of nature, laws that determine everything from the very first formation of galaxies to the stable orbits of stars. All my life, I have thought to understand the universe and to work out why they exist at all. Up until the 20th century, everyone thought that the universe was essentially static and only changing in time. Then it was discovered that the universe was expanding in a cosmological arrow of time, when distant galaxies are seen to be moving far away from us. And this meant that they must have been closer in the past, about 14 billion years ago, as predicted by NASA scientists. And the idea became eventually known as imaginary time, as predicted by Professor Hawking, which assumes that time is walking in another direction in space. This means that the laws of evolution and the initial conditions depend on time and space being separate and distinct. The idea may be turned into a new and important source of energy. It is conceivable, though much less certain, that this can be applied in the immediate future. The people, research, and ideas of the Hanz Universiteit have been a catalyst for some of the world's best-known companies, to which they will explore what science means when they observe, experiment, and test hypotheses. The Hanz Universiteit has set out its mission to be a market leader, a company colonizing space, producing innovation management in the history, and to make the economy work for everyone. Although the university is best known for its contribution to the cosmological and psychological research, the university's influences, however, stretches far beyond to include science, technology, engineering, state-of-art innovation, and business, and critical in design thinking to be the drivers of economic and societal prosperity in a 21st century economy. History will ask us whether we are up to the task. Our answer would be, we have been the greatest sources for good and the greatest defenders for sovereignty, security, nobility, and prosperity for all. The Hanz administration has announced in its latest speeches that people are sovereign, and a culture which calls for a call of action, which brings people together today and in the years to come to act in common cause. As we are in the business of broadening horizons, we believe that life arose deliberately on the universe. And we have as yet to discover that you and I are biological machines. and complex beings ever programmed by the wonder of our genetic codes. Some genes are better activated, yet another genes are deactivated. And this, I think, is a pretty exciting discovery. And however contradictory they are, within a few years, we will have a complete map of all of these genetic differences, the likes of which it gets at the heart of the solution of digitizing human brains by Connectome and Genome Project that is to be modeled by a computer in our fight against cancer. And however hard the situation may seem to be, there is always hope, and something greater inside us resonate as a cure for cancer by virtues of your gut instinct. Climate change is so dangerous to the fate of mankind, and it can kill millions of peoples. We should have a fight on pressures like climate change and global warming as much as we are fighting terrorism. There is no boundary to human endeavors, and there should be no boundary at all. We are all different. There is no such a thing as a standard, run-of-the-mill human being, but we all share the same human spirit, where we can enjoy living a wonderful life at its highest, fullest expression of ourselves as humans, and only as humans, likely not to be an advanced breed of primates. Thank you for watching.